Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome back to the press conference room here in Belgrade for the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. We are joined now by Philippines. We have the head coach, Thomas Baldwin. We have George, the team captain, George Isaac Go. So first of all, we would like for you to start with an opening statement. We will then leave the floor for questions for media that are created via Zoom. So you will be able to raise your hand or ask via the chat or the Q&A. So please, Coach, start off with your opening statement on the tournament.
Thank you very much. We're excited to be here. We didn't really plan this in our schedule, but when New Zealand pulled out, the opportunity arose, and FIBA kindly invited the Philippines, and we were very excited to come. It's probably sort of advanced in terms of where our particular program is at. We are using a bunch of amateur young players. We are not bringing the professionals out of the Philippine ranks. And we just came out of the third FIBA window and had some success there against Korea and Indonesia. So we come in here excited, feeling good, but understanding that this is a very, very big step up in level for our basketball team. But we expect to compete. We expect to take a lot of lessons out of this. So very excited to be here.
Now you can take the floor. You have an opening statement on the tournament. How excited are you to go and play starting Wednesday?
I think to reiterate Coach Tab, a lot of us didn't expect to be here. A lot of us are actually very excited because I think it's only really Kai who's had the chance to play in the world stage. And now all of us from playing the Asia stage and now the international stage, all of us are really excited to take the floor, to play, and to take the lessons back because this experience is really, really valuable. And the memories will form here and the bonds will form here is also something that we'll treasure.
And before we go to questions that we have already in the chat, and please feel free to ask if you have more. Coach, I wanted to ask you, what it is like to coach this young group of guys ahead of this tournament. You have, of course, you will play against Serbia the first game, but more than the opponents, how are you dealing with this group of guys, and what do you want to see from them?
Well, it's very different than coaching the typical national team or professional team because you turn everything into a lesson. And we have to because there's so much to learn for us. Everything we're doing, particularly on the international stage now, is not just new for us as a team, but it's new for almost all of the players, I think all of the players as individuals. So everything is a lesson, and yet at the same time we have to respect that these are talented players, and these are players that have earned the right to represent their country, and I think because of that balancing act of teaching and fighting, competing, is something that the coaching staff is working on all the time. But the other part of, I think, coaching young players is it's a tremendous pleasure because you get great enthusiasm and great attention to everything that they're striving to learn because they want to be professionals. They want to be great professionals and earn a living in this, and this is one step along the way for these young men.
And one more for George. What is the chemistry like within the team? How excited are you to play with one another and face Serbia and the other national teams here in Belgrade?
I think chemistry is great because from a young age, a lot of us played with one another. A lot of us got to compete against one another. So there's this certain friendship that's already been formed at a young age, and now that we've come together as a team, it's always been the idea that what it would be like if we joined together, and that's what it's like. So a lot of the guys are having fun, really enjoying each other's company, and we're really excited to take the floor because, as I said earlier, we're in the international stage. It's a whole new level. There's a mystery to it for a lot of us, so we're excited to play and learn from it.
That's great. We now move to the question that we have in the Q&A section. So first of all, I will bundle a couple of them about Serbia, both for the coach, in regards how are you, what did you tell your young point guards ahead of the face-off with a veteran like Milos Teodosic? And also there's a question regarding the experience of the team that you played against them in the World Cup in 2019. So is there, of course there was a different team on both sides, but do you think there's some lesson to be learned from that game?
Well, the answer, obviously, with the point guard situation, when you play against a player like Teodosic, you both want to compete. You're desperate to, just to test your skills against a player who has played at the level that Milos has and is the caliber of player that he is. But the other thing is, as we keep alluding to, you want to learn lessons. You want to realize that you're going up against the master of the game. And there are things that you can learn from the big picture when you go back and review the video, but also you want to test yourself and see what you can learn from possession to possession. So everything that he does well, you want to try and counter it as quickly as you can. And we do that in the scouting reports. We try to prepare our players, but there's nothing like actually going out there and standing toe-to-toe with some of these great Serbian players. And there is a level of excitement for our players in that, but there's also a great challenge. And I think as long as we respect both of those thought processes, I think that the players will enjoy the process, but they'll also find out a lot about themselves and what they need to learn and to improve themselves.
Great, and the other question is regarding the injury situation. So how is the team, especially Camille Naredo is asking, can we get an update on the injury status of Dwight Ramos and Car Tamayo? So if you could please give an update on that.
Yeah, we're banged up. I mean, there's no question we came out of the third window limping. Dwight is not likely for either game, but things can change overnight. But with a groin injury, it's not common. Usually these things drag on, and that's what we seem to be experiencing. Carl Tamayo is, I wouldn't say he's had a setback, but I would say that now that he's trying to go full speed, he's experiencing quite a bit of discomfort in the ankle, but I think that he'll push through. Anj Kawami is, nursing his deep knee bruise, deep knee contusion that he got in the third window, and he's not at full speed. So, we are limping, and these are key players, but we know that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and Dwight has already said to me, he wants to try, but he's just in no shape to try. So I know that they're going to go out there, and if they can give their best, that's what they're going to give.
Thank you, Coach. And now we move to a question that we have. We have a journalist with his hand raised. It's Peter Gabriel Atencio. So we ask you to please unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Hello.
Yeah, we can
Hello,
hear you.
Coach.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Coach. This afternoon here in the Philippines. How healthy is the team, Coach? And how do you see the Serbian team without Jokic and Bogdanovic?
The team's very happy, but we're not, as healthy as we would like to be. How do I see them without Bogdan and Jovic? I see them world class, and I see them elite. I would think Serbia right now, arguably, is in the top 3 teams in the world. And obviously, if they had Jokic and Bogdanovic, it would probably cement that thinking. But this is a country that continuously produces great players and great teams, and as importantly, maybe the best coaches in the world. So when you put all of that together, you should expect an extremely high caliber of basketball team. And now that they're playing for a berth in the Olympics and at home, you put all of that together and you have a formula for a great team, and that's what we expect to run out on the court against in a couple of days.
Thank you. And before we wrap it up, I will kindly ask you, George, to give a final statement in your local language, so that for me that are listening now, just on your feelings and the excitement that you have to play with the national team on Wednesday and start this tournament.
Sobrang excited talaga kami nandito. Alam namin na hindi lahat ng tao na may oportunidad para makapaglaro para sa bansa. Moreover, yung international stage tulad nito sa world stage. Kaya sobrang excited kami lahat. Alam namin na ibibigay namin ang lahat para mapakita namin yung galing ng Pilipinas bilang ng Pinoy. At sana po continue po namin kayo suportahan kami dahil alam namin para sa inyo rin to, para sa bayan.
Thank you very much, George. Congrats and good luck for the tournament, both of you. This will end the press conference today. We will be back in the afternoon with the other teams. Thank you for joining us.